All right, here's a screencast for 4.5. As before, if you have a question, put a star by it, and then we can go over together. So, show that the triangle is a right triangle. So the converse, remember Pythagorean says a squared plus b squared equals c squared, only if we have a right triangle, right? So if we have a right triangle, then we can use Pythagorean theorem. Now we have the converse, which is the opposite way. So if a squared plus b squared equals c squared, if that's true, then we can prove that the triangle is a right triangle. So let's show that this is a right triangle. So let's go ahead. 12, 16, 20. This is the largest side, so let's say this is C. Now we're testing. If this is true, then guess what? Then we just ran into a right triangle. So a squared, 12 squared, plus b, 16 squared, equals, well, we're testing, remember? So put a little question mark, and then put 20 squared. Using your calculator, you can say, okay, 12 times 12 is 144, 16 squared is 256, and 20 squared is 400. If we add the left side, surprise, it's the same thing. Yay, so we just proved it's a right triangle. Now, there's 3 different cases we could run into when we try this. If c is less, if c squared is less than the addition, then we're going to have an acute triangle, which means the angle would be less than 90 degrees. So less than, if it is equal, right, we know that this would be a right triangle. That's what we went over in the last section. And last, if c is greater, that means the angle must be greater than 90 degrees if c squared is greater. So we would say it's an obtuse triangle because an obtuse angle is larger than 90. So let's go ahead, let's classify the triangle as acute, right, or obtuse. So remember, right, acute, c squared is less, right triangle, c squared is equal to the addition of a squared plus b squared, or obtuse, c squared is greater than. So let's go ahead. First, you need to know the longest side. So let's go ahead and plug in root 35 into our calculator. That's going to be about 5.9. And since that's the largest side, we're going to use this as c. And then the other ones you can either say, you can switch around 5 and 4 as a and b. All right, so a squared plus b squared, we don't know. What is it? Let me put it over here so this matches the rest of the formula. All right, so we have root 35 squared. We don't know. Is it greater than, less than, equal to 5 squared plus 4 squared? So we get 35. 25 plus 16. Okay, guess what? 35 is less than 41. Since c squared is less than, this is going to be an acute triangle. Go ahead and pause and try B. I'm going to keep going. This is the longest side, so this is C. I could have this one be A, B, and we need to decide, is this true, right? We don't know. C squared is what? When compared to A squared plus B squared. So we said C was 15 squared. We don't know what should go in between here. 12 squared plus 8 squared. Once again, using your calculator, 15 squared is 225. 12 squared is 444. 8 squared is 64. Add them up. 225 is greater than 208. Since it's greater than, it's going to be an obtuse triangle. All right, here we go. That's the longest side. So I say that's C. You can, switch these other two A and B around. All right, so 8 squared, we don't know how it compares to 6 squared plus 5 squared. 64, how does it compare to 36 plus 25? Well, 64 is greater than 61. Since it's greater, we say it's an obtuse triangle. You can pause again and try out part D. All right, this is the longest sides. This is C. Now it doesn't matter which ones you label as A and B. But remember, we need to compare how is C squared versus the addition of A squared plus B squared. All right, so C is 17. A is, 15 plus 8. So 289 is going to equal 225 plus 64. 289 is equal to 289. All right, so that means it's a right triangle because c squared was equal to the addition. Algebra review, finding unit rate. So we went over this last time. Remember, the unit rate means the denominator is 1. So you pay $2.50 for 2 bagels. So that means it's $2.50 per 2 bagels. So if you divide both the top and bottom by 2, you get the unit price, $1.25 per bagel. these right. Okay, let's keep going. You earn $76 in 4 hours. Remember, you're just dividing by the number that's on the denominator. That way, we get $19 over 1 hour. So we get $19 per 1 hour. All right, 50 hours in 2.5 days. So if you divide the top and bottom by 2.5, you get 20 hours per day. All right. You run 2 miles in 30 minutes. So let's divide, oh, just kidding, 2 miles in 30 minutes. So this is going to give us a, let's see. So if it takes 30 minutes to run 2 miles, let's think about miles per hour. So we have 2 miles per 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and convert, because miles per hour is something that you've used on the regular. We know 60 minutes is in 1 hour. Cross out, and now we have 120 miles per 30 hours. Divide by 30 on top and bottom, and you get 4 miles per hour. All right, classify the given triangle with the given side lengths as acute, right, or obtuse. So you just have to go through and compare, right? Acute, c squared is less than, right? C squared is equal, and obtuse is c squared is greater than. So go through, and you just have to pick the biggest side for your c. All right, so you go through, pick the biggest side as c, and then see if you are correct. And then the last part is graphing the points, determine if this is acute, right, or obtuse. So we're going to go through the rest of these in class. We're going to go through these last 2 examples, but make sure you are understanding the first 2 pages, and then that is it for today. Make sure after you finish the video, you come back to class, and we'll finish the last page of notes together.